one that I had, this one wasn't, for the first one, wasn't something that we had down. Are you?
Which one are we doing first? This one?
We're doing the NHL NBA playoff race, and did the Bengals overpay for their wideouts?
Okay.
Are you of the opinion that they did or did not?
I don't think that they did.
You don't think that they did?
Are you in the opinion that they did?
I'm a little more mixed on it, but I can debate the they did conversation. I'm happy to debate the they did conversation.
You don't think they did?
You said you don't think that they did.
I mean, I do and I don't.
I'm kind of in the same place.
I'm like in a mixed spot.
Which one would you rather argue for? Which one would you rather debate? The affirmative or the negative?
I'll be for.
You'll be they did the right thing by paying them what they did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the they overpaid. That doesn't mean like that's our opinion, but when you debate, like, you know, sometimes you have to debate things that you don't fully agree or don't agree on. That's what they. So let me just I'm going to pull up the standings. I'm going to pull up the standings.
NHL standings.
Yeah, I figured we could just talk quick. There's a super interesting race in the West. And then NBA-wise, we've got some teams that clinched.
Oh, look at Vegas. Look at Vegas,
yeah. You've been super invested in Vegas.
I've been so invested.
Now is the time to get invested in Vegas, though.
Okay,
I'm hoping that we can do the same thing for hockey that we did for baseball.
Yeah, because playoffs did that for me with baseball. I'm actually like really excited for baseball season this year.
And playoff hockey is worth it. Whatever you think of the regular season, playoff hockey is worth it. And Vegas has a really good team. I think you can get.
It's just so hard. It's like watching soccer, dude.
I'm going
to watch soccer,
to pretend that you didn't just say that. I'm going to really try my best to not hold that against you the rest of this episode.
God.
I'm really going to try my best.
Well, I don't care if you
just
do.
know that it's going to be
like
tough.
Soccer. Nobody.
You know, my wife played college soccer, so I could get in trouble for saying anything else. Welcome to Wrexham's a great documentary, and I love playing adult soccer, and that's all I will say on the matter. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to the house.
He's forced to play soccer, and
I'm not being forced to play soccer. I'm not being forced to do anything, Brian. Welcome to the house. Episode, what is this? 33. Welcome to episode 33 of To the House. I'm Isaac Smolden. I'm joined, as always, by Brian Fields.
Hello.
If you need homeless or at-risk services, you can take it to my house, 300 North Willow Street in downtown Wasilla. Residential treatment beds for youth ages 18 to 25 still open. We got some fantastic, positive community support today, which is really great. A lot of people loving what Brian and the team are doing for recovery in our community, and I love it as well. Recovery. Get it. Do it. This week on To the House, man, every time, Brian, we have a conversation about the Seahawks in the last 2 weeks, everything changes.
I'm ready
so
to roast you.
I would like to welcome everyone to the Seahawks are back party. Everybody's invited. No one's ever been as back as the Seattle Seahawks are right now.
Why do you think they're back?
Because a week ago we
downgraded at what? You're the only person who can say we've downgraded at each position we let go, but we're back. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
A week ago we had a sophomore wide receiver and no quarterback. And now we got Sammy D hucking the rock. We got Cooper Kupp. Get ready for the biggest bounce back season you've ever seen in your entire life. Because Cooper Kupp is going on a revenge tour. And we're beating the Rams this season. And JSN's going to take a step and become the next Jamar Chase. And Sammy D is gonna have a better season than the improbable season he just had, and the Seahawks are winning the NFC West.
You're gonna do better than 10-7.
Yes.
I think what's gonna happen is that is gonna flip, and it's gonna be 7-10.
Brian, we've made some other signings that are not as flashy, but that are going to improve our defense. We're going to draft incredibly well.
Gosh.
Okay, so
you're in the middle of the pack. Like you have to, like that's a hard spot to be.
I do think, unironically, I do think that an improvement from 10-7 is possible for this team.
How?
I think they could be a playoff team. You need some things to go right.
Perfectly.
Not perfectly.
There's going to be an adjustment period for a new quarterback. You have 2 good slot wide receivers and nobody else.
When's Jake Bobo's contract up?
When's the bone zone happening? Because he's out every other game. When are we going to enter the bone zone?
First of all, don't say bone zone ever again.
That's what they call it.
I know what they call it. I don't like it. I am not a fan. K9 is cool, but the bone zone is a little bit much. Maybe put the Archer phrasing thing over top of this, Ozzy. Listen, Brian. What is the offseason for if not unfounded and completely delusional hope?
Okay, but here's my problem. Here's my problem is you were like, blow it up. And they're like, okay, we're going to blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
But you blew it up and then brought in stuff to make you just like a step below.
But you brought in different stuff.
You're probably gonna have like, I'd say pick like 10 to 13 next year.
I'm gonna push back on you saying that Sammy D is
You're disgusting.
A step back from Geno Smith.
Roll the tape, dude. What are you talking about? How could you possibly even try to even argue that? In your heart of hearts that is not true.
It's different though, Brian.
Sam Darnold had Justin Jefferson last year, and
now
he played in a
Jackson
dome.
Smith and Jigba.
They cannot even be in the same sentence, bro. What are you saying right now? Is this delusional house? Like, is that where we're at? That's the episode we're
Sorry, I just needed to inhale a little more cope really quick.
Bro, holy cow.
Listen.
You are fully invested in this.
Listen.
And I think it's great for you. And it's going to be greater for me mid-season this year. Is going to be fantastic. And I need this clip saved.
I said I wanted them to make a change. And they did. Listen.
No, you said you wanted them to blow it up.
If they go 7-10, they will come. I don't even know if I can say that, but then you have your path forward. You commit to the rebuild. If you improve with pieces that have proven that they're capable of having success in the past, and you draft well, and you made a lot of free agency signings, if things pan out, you're capable of being a playoff team this year. I don't think that they're going to be 10-7 again, and I'm happy about that. They could be an 11 or 12 win team if things go right. If they don't, at least we know. I didn't want them to run it back. They are certainly not running it back because the entire team is different, it seems like.
Ozzy, can you call Matsu Regional? I think Isaac is having a psychotic break. I think that's what's happening right now.
The cope tastes good, ladies and gentlemen. The cope is delicious.
Yeah.
We're back, baby.
That's like me trying to say that the Raiders are back.
Okay.
Insane, dude.
Okay. Wow. Hey, can I get a straw hat and
the other part
another
is
flannel shirt for the straw man that Brian is setting up right now?
You've not been there for years now. So like, where do you back to? You're just like, I'm so happy we're back to mid. Like that's your excitement.
Maybe we're back to slightly above mid. It'd be nice to not be mid one way or the other this season. That's where I'm at.
I mean, I think you'll win some games, but I think you've put a lot into Sam Darnold, and he's not going to have the same weapons. He's going
to have better ones. JSN.
Please stop saying that. Somebody roast this
I'm
man.
trying to manifest it, okay?
This is awful.
I'm trying to manifest
over Jay
it.
Jettis, my guy.
Anyway, let's move on to a Seattle team that I am not willing to be delusional about. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Seattle Mariners Family Circus. Insert music here. I have the 2025 MLB Hopometer pulled up, and the Seattle Mariners are only above the White Sox, the Blue Jays, the Rockies. It's not good. They're right at the bottom of the Hopometer. Things are so bad in Seattle Mariners land that I can't say Oakland Athletics, because where do they play? The Sacramento Athletics, I guess, this year. Their fans have a more positive outlook on this baseball season than the Seattle Mariners, whose fans have only 32% of Mariner fans have a positive outlook on the 2025 season. And ladies and gentlemen, count me in the 67.6% of fans whose hopes are in the toilet for the Seattle Mariners. End my suffering. Moving on.
I think you just need to move on from Seattle in general.
Can't. I refuse.
I refuse.
I'm in it for the long haul, baby. What, are you just gonna move on from the Las Vegas Raiders?
I thought about it. You notice I've been wearing my hat less and less lately.
Talk to me about where the NBA is right now. We're not
we're in
too
the
many
stretch.
games away, right?
We're in the stretch, and my Lakers have had a fall from grace. We've went from 2 to 5. But we have the same losses as from between 2 and 5.
Right.
Golden State has moved all the way up into 6.
They're 9-1 in their last 10. Dude.
Bro, they're
crazy.
On fire. Draymond Green might not have been lying. Oklahoma City is still just like, there's nobody catching them. 56-12. They're having an amazing season. But the Lakers, they lost, so Luka's been in and out of the lineup. LeBron James is out with a groin injury. Jackson Hayes is out. And
less than ideal.
Rui Hachimura is out. Austin Reeves just came back.
So who's in? You just named the entire Lakers roster.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so we've been battling, and so they snapped a 4-game lose streak last night. I think they play again today, so we'll see. I would like to see them in that second spot, but I think they're going to end up finishing like 4th. But there's a really tough race in the West.
The West East is a killing field.
Yeah, in the East, nobody really even talks about the East. It's stupid. The East
so
is dumb.
My question for you is, will there be a team in the playoff round in the East that has a win percentage of 500 or better when everything's said or done? Because the Hawks would need to have they'd have to win 4 more games than they lose the rest of the season to get to 500.
This is
and
why,
there's 10 games left.
This is why I'm almost for just best
14.
Best 16 teams. But I love the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
But
I do too.
But I hate this. Like 32 and 37. You're 29 and 38 and have a chance to make the playoffs. You're
disgusting. 28 and 39 and have a chance to make the playoffs if you're the Bulls.
Yeah.
You only win 42. I'm going to be generous and round up. 42%.
Toronto
of
is 24 and 44 and can make a run and have some things go right.
They're only 4 games back of a play-in spot, dude.
Like, what?
The Raptors are terrible.
Yeah. It's stupid. And then it just the difference too, right? Like New York is not competing with Boston. Cleveland can compete. I don't think they can beat Boston in a 7-game series. Like, that's the other part, is like, we look at all these records and stuff, but when you look at the team versus team in a 7-game series, like, I don't know that anybody beats Boston. Milwaukee,
the East is so top heavy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, Cleveland might be the only team that has a chance just with how much regular season success they've had.
And the only thing, like, with OKC is just like, yeah, they're really good, but can in a 7-game series where my entire focus is on your team, what you've done, what you do well, how do I take that away, how do I exploit you, are you going to be able to match with a Golden State team that is very well coached, has veterans on it, knows how to do all sorts of different things.
I'll at least be watching the Western Conference playoffs this year because
Yeah.
there's a lot of teams that have a shot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that have a shot. In the NHL, very much, we talked about this a couple
Let's go
episodes
Vegas.
ago, but they're very similar situation, right? In the Eastern Conference right now, you have the top looks like they're set, but the last wild card position, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams within 4 points, so 2 wins of that last wild card spot. The East is crazy. There's so many teams that have been like rebuilding for a long time. The Canadiens, the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, the Senators are in a wild card spot right now. This is going to be, shut up. This is going to be our year to try to make a run at it and sneak in. In the West, can we just have 7 teams, but just give the number 1 seed a bye, dude? Because the Canucks are somehow in a wild card spot despite sucking all year long. Your favorite team. This is just a list of team names that you're going to cackle at. This is like Brian's worst nightmare. You have the Canucks, you have the Blues, you have the Flames, and you have the Utah Hockey Club.
No.
All within 2 points of each other.
Who did this? Like, you have to be the laziest name person ever, bro. You're just like,
it's because
we're the hockey club, baby.
It's because they couldn't get their jerseys in time. They had to just go with something. They'll have a new name next year. Okay. But one of the names they're considering is sticking with the Utah Hockey Club. And I think if that happened, your head would explode.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the exact same thing. Like, the West is super top heavy. The Golden Knights are gross. The Avs and the Stars, Mikko Rantanen, now a Dallas Star, my worst nightmare, lost. And I feel kind of bad because I love Mikko, but screw Dallas. I mean, I don't care how sad sack the Mavericks are right now. I hate the Stars more than I think any other NHL team right now. So you can't have anything nice. The Avs are looking to move into home ice advantage in the West. But yeah, I don't know who's going to take this last playoff spot. I wish the Eastern Conference. Oh, I wish you could have a play-in round like the NBA does, but it's the same thing where the Western Conference is so embarrassing. Like, we should shrink the playoffs down like the MLB does, dude. Like, none of these teams are worth watching in the postseason.
Yeah, because it's just a free win. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's silly.
What, are you going to risk someone getting injured playing against a team that you're going to beat in 5 games in a 7-game series?
The play-in has not worked. I mean, I don't think for the NBA. Well, I think the Lakers went to the conference finals.
Yeah,
on a play-in spot.
But no one in the play-in, it works for the owners because they get more revenue.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. But no one in a play-in spot has ever made it past the conference finals, correct?
I don't think so, no.
So it's tough.
Yeah, they lost in the conference finals.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into a house divided. And I think we both have mixed feelings about this subject, but we have decided which sides we are debating for and against.
Yeah.
In NFL news, the Bengals recently made the decision. Jamar Chase is staying. T. Higgins.
What is that, $40.3 million a year?
Is staying. They are combining for just under $70 million between the two of them. I believe that's correct. It's like 40 and 30, right?
I've seen this meme. It was like, this is like what happens when an 8th grader plays Madden franchise mode.
Okay. So wait, which side did you decide to argue for?
No, I just thought it was funny.
You said you were going to.
I've heard, okay, so like, yeah, I hear. I mean, there's been people because they talked about like letting go a lot of defensive players.
The question is, did the Bengals overpay to keep Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? And you are saying no, you like these extensions.
And like you said, I do have mixed feelings about it. It is a lot of money, but I also think like, okay, if Jamar Chase doesn't have his negotiation like period, right? T. Higgins don't go down, right? Their kicker makes a freaking field goal. we're having a different conversation, right? They were in the playoffs last year. It's a different, they would have contended with any team. And they're like, everybody's acting like their defense was so great already while they're letting these defensive pieces go. And at the end of the day, what the Bengals have said is we know who we are. We know how our team operates and how we're going to win games. It's never going to be on the backs of a defense. When you go up against Kansas City, it's going to come down to the last possession every single time. When you go up against Josh Allen, it's going to come down to the last possession every single time. Like, you're not going to like shut those dudes out with some like crazy defense, right? So let's make sure that we are equipped to go toe-to-toe with those teams. And I mean, not to mention, you're talking about the best, you could argue the best number one wide receiver in the league. And definitely, in my opinion, the with like out of shadow of a doubt, the best number 2 wide receiver in the league.
Jamar Chase, the highest the largest contract for a non-QB player. And again, we both have mixed feelings about this. Yeah. But what I'm going to say is, it's not just the Chiefs you got to get past. Is your goal to win a Super Bowl? Yes, you need to get past the Chiefs to get there, most likely. But if your goal is to win a Super Bowl, you've got one more game to play after that. And we've seen, Roger said it coming in. He said, what wins championships? You hear it all the time. Defense wins championships. Did defense
win a championship this year?
I mean, defense won a championship. I would say yes, actually. The Chiefs didn't score in the first half.
Yeah.
The Chiefs didn't score. They scored in garbage time. So many of those points are garbage time.
Was that like defense or was that momentum?
You had
it, and a Chiefs playing both. Like garbage, right?
It's both, but you can't ignore one side. This game is a double side. We got two sides to the ball.
We haven't even got to the draft yet. Are they ignoring that side of the ball? So my rebuttal is, did you not see the contracts that were being given out this year? There's like mediocre guys that are getting paid $56 million, right? So could I do that, or do I take a swing at somebody in the draft that I'll have cheaper for 4 to 5 years?
You've got a lot of money locked up in 2 guys.
In 3 guys, really.
3 guys, because you got Joe Burrow. And
massive contract too.
It is difficult, I believe, to lure people to your team in free agency when they know that even if I'm successful here, I'm going to be going somewhere else next year. They don't have the money to give me. They don't have the cap space to allocate me. That hurts you long term. I think Jamar Chase is, if you can make an argument for Justin Jefferson, possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL. T. Higgins, I totally agree. One of the best number 2 wide receivers in the NFL.
Don't say one of the best. He's the best. Name a better number 2 wide receiver.
It's tough. I've off the top of my head, I don't think I could. So 100%. Do they deserve this money? Yes. But if you're the Bengals, it's going to be really tough, I believe, to have success with this much money locked up in 3 guys.
I don't think so, because I think I am going to assume that what they're going to do is they're going to build through the draft, right? And you can get some late tackles in the draft. You can get some, there's some decent DBs this year that you could get. And then my question to you, how many times do you see a defensive guy get out of his rookie contract, switch contracts, and go to a new team and make a huge impact?
Again, off the top of my head, I don't have anyone.
Well, because it doesn't happen that often, right? Like, you're talking about, like, players like to make it this thing where, like, yeah, I'm good enough to go play anywhere, but you're going in, you're implementing, you're going and, like, getting accustomed to a new culture, to a new scheme, to new play style, to, I used to do it like this. No, I don't want you to do it like this. Well, I've done it like this my whole career. Well, no, I want you to do it like this because it's more efficient. So now I have this whole learning period, right? And so can they, like, add value? The only way, for me, the only reason you go out there and spend a ton of money on defense is if you're like 1 or 2 pieces of depth and to bolster your defense, right? And I don't like the move to try to trade Trey Hendrickson. I don't think he's going to get a trade. So I think that's kind of like the Bengals being like, yeah, go, bro. Like, you think you're worth all this money? Go show me.
Again, in a vacuum, I think both these contracts are well-deserved, but you got to look at the full picture, and ultimately your goal is to win a Super Bowl. You need a full team. Complete teams win a Super Bowl. You don't win maybe the Seahawks defense in 2013, but you need a complete team to win a Super Bowl. The Eagles, to me, the most complete team in the playoffs.
The Chiefs
this year.
got there with an incomplete team.
But did they win? Who had the more complete team in that game?
They have.
Who had the more complete team in that game? You had top
with,
defense, great offense.
They won before with the same offense. It was not good.
In the playoffs, the Chiefs' offense wasn't good?
No.
I'll push back on that.
They were not. The Chiefs' offense has regressed immensely.
This just in. Last year's Super Bowl winning Chiefs offense with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce,
and
offensive line.
So
Isaiah Pacheco was pretty good in the playoffs.
I mean, they were pretty good, but when you look at what the Chiefs' offense was when it was Tyreek Hill, all those guys, when they were like, boom, when that offense was cooking.
You don't have to have the best offense, but I'm saying they were a complete team last year.
I wouldn't say a complete team.
This is not the subject. We need to close this debate because this is not the subject that we're trying to debate.
But we are debating it because at the end of the day, you're saying it has to be a complete team, and I don't think that it necessarily does.
We'll see.
We shall see.
We shall.
I'm taking the Bengals again next year in the bracket. So.
Uh-oh. Brian's falling for the hype train again.
No, there's nothing. They don't have any hype train. I just believe in Joe Burrow. That dude's a killer.
He is. We love Joe Burrow. All right. It's going to be it for today. Even when we're rooting against each other, sports bring us together. We will see you next week on To the House.
To the